We're set here at the top of the hour. I'm Jamison Euler here with Caitlin Lockerbie. Good to be back in here as we can kind of get a survey of the damage that we're seeing out there. And as we expected, as we were kind of coming on the air this morning very early, and it was very dark out, but the lights started coming up and we started to see that this is, the hurricane that everybody promised.
Yeah, it certainly is. Reaching out to loved ones, friends, and family too, and getting a look for the first time outside myself. We've been watching the video play out here. We're in our backup hurricane studio here because we were in an evacuation zone as well, and we're near the Hard Rock Hotel. You've been hearing Sarah and Frank tell you there are a lot of lights out, a lot of power outages right now, and so you want to treat those as four-way stops here on Hillsborough Avenue.
Absolutely.
Right outside of our studio. Very busy spot here, and you can see people come up very fast and kind of don't know what to do, and it becomes very chaotic. So a good day to avoid the roads if you can, because there's a lot of debris out there.
And there's a lot of drivers, and they're telling people to stay off the road. I know a lot of folks are probably going from an area, maybe they left their homes and they're heading back, so just please be careful when you do that. As we reset it here at the top of the hour, let's go over the top three things we want to let you know here at 11 a.m. St. Pete Water and Sewer Service has been restored. They had turned off water and sewer service for the city that looked like it was probably going to be out for 48 hours. They were able to get that turned back on quickly today, so everything has been restored. They do want to note, though, there's a boil water notice for St. Pete as well as Temple Terrace at the same time.
So you definitely want to use that hurricane water, your stock right now. Reach for that or boil that water, but I know a lot of people are dealing with power outages as well. Access to Pinellas County is reopened at this point. Gandy, Howard Franklin, those bridges are open. We're waiting for the Courtney Campbell, though, because of debris in the area. Sarasota County barrier islands remain closed right now.
In Manatee County, our Jen Titus has been down there for us throughout this entire storm. She is there for us right now. Jen, the last time I looked up, you were over on Bradenton Beach, which sustained a lot of damage. Where are you right now?
Yeah, Jamison, when I tell you that the Manatee County beaches did not need any more damage, I can just show you. Look at this, guys. This was from Helene. The damage I am showing you right now was from Hurricane Helene. Apparently, Milton did not agree with that because look at this house right here. I am told this is from Hurricane Milton. It blew this house down. One of the few houses standing here on Bradenton Beach, and they have seen numerous homes with wind damage that they've already sustained so much of from Helene. Now Milton, just that second punch of wind damage now to so many of these homes. You can look over here, you can see the lifeguard tower. That one I believe was knocked down from Helene, but there was one right next to it that was knocked down from Milton. There are a lot of crews here, guys. I've seen St. Johns County, I've seen Mobile, Alabama. Officials are out here on the island right now doing their best to clean up all of the down debris. A lot of that debris that we showed you guys over the past week that was the inside of people's homes that were just destroyed from Helene, that has been spread along the island. So they are out here cleaning up that debris. There are a lot of down power lines, so they're out here cleaning up those down power lines, and that's why the island is still closed to all residents and non-residents. I spoke to the chief a little bit ago and I asked him, are you guys going to be open? He said probably not for another day or so when it comes to residents. So you still have to wait, but you can literally just do like a full 360 circle here, guys, to see the extent of the damage out here from not just Helene, but also now Milton. And the thing about this community, I asked the chief, what is the next step? He says, we rebuild. We are resilient. Our community is resilient. I have to say the whole Tampa Bay area is resilient. Everybody will rebuild, guys, because we are Tampa Bay strong.
Absolutely, Jen. You know, Bradenton Beach after Helene, I remember Bradenton Beach sending out a notice on Twitter saying that 95% of Bradenton Beach had been affected deeply after Hurricane Helene. As you're out there this morning, is there kind of a way to gauge what is Helene damage, what is Milton damage, and maybe what's a little bit of a combination of both? It looks as though we
Yeah,
lost
we'll get
Jen
back
there
to
and
her in
lost
a
our
little bit.
connection. You have to know that cell phone service out there on the barrier islands is spotty right now. They've lost a lot of that connectivity, and we lost Jen there. But certainly great reporting from her out there. And what I was asking obviously was, can you tell which is which?
Yeah, it's very
because it's
difficult.
hard. It's really hard to tell. Bradenton Beach got leveled after
Yeah.
Helene.
Yeah, we're saying that before the storm even and hit landfall that, you know, the coast's not going to look the same tomorrow. And of course, that's the case. It was the case after Helene. We've been talking about, you know, it's been kind of a 1-2 punch here with these storms, and this one really a knockout for some areas. It's going to be very difficult to get this all cleaned up, but we will as a community. We got a lot of work to do, a community lift, as we continue to say here. Angelicia Bruton is in Hernando County. She has been for us, and more of the same there. Angelicia, where are you right now? And again, we saw that after Helene, the cleanup continued for not very long, because it wasn't very long, just a couple weeks before we got hit with Milton. But the damaged debris behind you, furniture, what is that from?
Yeah, all of this is from Hurricane Helene. I came to this area thinking that all of this debris would be in the roadways after Hurricane Milton with those powerful winds. But as you can see, it looks like everything is in the same spot from 2 weeks ago. I was talking to neighbors and they say that they were surprised by the same thing, that it didn't get in the roadways. They say they're thankful for that, but they are upset that they still have to deal with all of this. It's been 2 weeks and all of this has still been lining the side of the road. You can see there's furniture, there's plants, there's mattresses, there's also some chairs, and you can see that the trash in this area still hasn't even been picked up. And when you get close to it with the winds in this area, the hot garbage is starting to smell pretty funky. I don't even want to stand by it for longer than 5 minutes. I don't even know what it's like to live by it for 2 weeks. So I reached out to the county myself to see if we can get some answers on when debris removal will start back up again. And the county says that right now they're doing damage assessment for Hurricane Milton and that they're making plans to open up the landfill again. And they're also making plans to start debris removal. So I'm not sure when we're going to start seeing all of this being removed from the neighborhoods. The neighbors say that they're upset because the only pickup that they've seen is from private contractors. Live in Hernando, Angelicia Bruton, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Angelicia, thank you so much for your reporting there. We're going to go back to you in just a little bit as you move around and assess some of the damage in there in Hernando County. Doing a great job for us up there. I do want to get you some information. You may have just gotten this text alert on your phone. This is really important information because Hillsborough County government is letting everybody know if you're experiencing low. They are advising you to take a precautionary boil water measure at this point out of an abundance of caution. They say they're working right now to make repairs over the next 6 to 8 hours to help with that water pressure. But again, if you have low water pressure right now in Hillsborough County, they're advising you to boil your water. They're trying to fix that again over the next several hours. Hopefully they can. And again, if you're listening to us and you have power, you're lucky here, and hopefully you can pass that information on to your neighbors down the street or any family that you might have. Maybe you're watching this maybe in Polk County, you have family in Hillsborough County. Please pass that on to them because right now the best first responders are you and your neighbors.
Yeah, a good idea to download our free 10 Tampa Bay app as well. You can stream us on the go. Not that you want to go far today. Stick with us at home, but if your power does go out, of course, you can use that app and hopefully keep up with the latest information here. We're continuing to update you as we learn more. Now, this has been a day also of flooding for some areas and water rescues. We've showed you those in Clearwater and other areas as well. We're just getting new information that they're staging for the media with water rescues in Trinity right now, and we're going to have the latest on that in just a little bit. This is Little Road, Prairie Creek Drive and Little Road that they have water rescues going on today. We're going to see those
It's Pasco County up there, yeah, which had obviously some flooding issues after Helene as well. So again, that staging area at the intersection of Prairie Creek Drive and Little Road. So they're having some issues up there again with water.
Yeah.
So again, passing that on to you. As this information comes in, it seems a little scatterbrained, but we're just volleying it back out as soon as we get it to you. We want to make sure you have the newest, latest information and all of that as well. Our Rob Hackford was down in Venice for us before the storm, and as Milton was coming ashore.
At a pet-friendly shelter, you may remember.
Yeah, he was there yesterday, and he's there again for us today. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Good morning. We're on Venice Island right now, getting our first sense of the damage here. A lot of washout on the streets. The marina behind me, a few boats up on land, lifted up because of the storm surge here. But a lot of this damage as well. Carports just toppled over, or roofs ripped off those carports. Fortunately, some cars faring pretty well, no damage to those. Others not so lucky elsewhere on the island. The jetty also suffering some pretty significant damage from the water rushing in, rushing back out. Speaking with some folks as well that have been going out, that hunkered down here on Venice, just getting a sense of how they're feeling today as well.
I went to bed a little optimistic because I knew that it kind of went down to a 3, but I guess that it was just as bad as everyone was kind of saying in terms of the debris. Luckily, the storm surge wasn't like a problem here. Like the flooding wasn't necessarily a problem where I live, but it was definitely up there in terms of what to expect.
Another thing, as expected, a lot of downed trees and limbs and roads heading down, especially on Venice Island, down that iconic stretch to the jetty. Roofs as well suffering some damage, sections ripped off. Others entirely lifted off. We saw that just down the way over by Jetty Jack's. That had actually been lifted up and kind of repositioned from where it was after Helene. A lot of damage here on Venice Island, but folks are feeling fairly good about things this morning, just looking to get cleaned up and to recover from this. Reporting on Venice, Rob Hackford, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, thanks, Rob. We'll continue to check in with him again. I know you've heard this morning, but this storm making landfall at 8:30 last night is a Category 3 storm, and we are really seeing the impacts widespread. As the sun came up, this really is a day of assessment. We've gotten updates from the governor as well, staging crews looking at our bridges, the Sunshine Skyway open, Gandy, Howard Franklin, all reopened right now, but the Courtney Campbell is still closed, and that's because of debris. Yep. And the governor was saying earlier this morning, we will get more updates, but they were saying they have crews stationed to assess the damage after the bridges. Obviously, they want to make sure that they are viable, that they are good to go before they reopen them to crowds of people headed across. And a lot of people evacuated out of the area, of course, and many people want to get home today to see the damage. I know we do. I know you do at home, too. Want to be able to help your neighbors. This is going to be a community event of us all just kind of coming together after these two massive storms back to back.
Absolutely, and there's a human side to all of this as well. A lot of you evacuated and you want to head back home in a little bit to see your homes. We're just as anxious as you are because we don't know what happened to ours as well. So we want to see it with our own eyes, but we're going to guide you through all of this until the very end and make sure that you have all the information you're going to need, especially like we tell you about water back open, bridges back open, all of those things so that you can go back on with your lives.
Yeah, and when we talk about that, especially for St. Pete right now, Pinellas County really hard hit with debris. And our Miranda Parnell this morning has been all over the area. She was down in Gulfport earlier, downtown St. Pete. She was in Clearwater with swift water rescues going on there, some freshwater rescues. So let's check in with Miranda.
And we are in Clearwater, just off of US 19 at an apartment complex where emergency responders have been doing water rescues all morning long. Now just look at how much water is in the parking lot here behind me. The police chief of Clearwater tells me that the water's actually been receding a bit throughout the morning, so this is actually lower than it was before. They say that they get into some of these apartments and the water is neck deep. Now, as you can see right here on this rescue boat, you have all different types of people that are being picked up. You have families that have been needing to be rescued. We've seen people who have ambulatory issues, an older woman that had a wheelchair earlier this morning. And so they said that throughout the night, they were getting 911 calls from folks from this apartment complex. It's an area that has been known to flood, but people who live here tell me they've never seen it flood like this before. But, you know, with those wind gusts throughout the night, emergency responders weren't able to make it out to the apartment complex because it was simply too dangerous. Now, residents tell me that they believe that after a couple hours, emergency responders were able to make it out here and start doing these rescues. But as you can see, folks kind of on their balconies, on the stairwells, still waiting to get picked up by these crews. And they say that they plan to go to each unit in the apartment complex to make sure that there are no people that have been left behind in this rescue mission here. They say they are working with several other teams to make this happen, and they want to make sure that everyone is accounted for and safe. In Clearwater, Miranda Parnell, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Miranda, thank you so much. We're seeing those water rescues throughout the day, throughout all of our counties in some way, shape, or form. We just saw some just a little bit ago from Hillsborough County. That was in the area of West Tampa, I believe, up by USF, in that area.
And we've got a mind here, too.
Yeah.
We've got an update for you.
From USF, yeah.
Right. I know students obviously paying attention, but parents, too. If you have students, grandparents out there, we are getting the latest information from the University of South Florida. Teams of USF, they're beginning to assess the damage to the campus there. Of course, safety, the top priority. USF will provide an update later today after that assessment that is ongoing. But they do say, please, students, teachers, do not come back to campus until notified that it is safe to return.
Yeah, the parents are going to keep their kids home for just a couple more days before they send them back. Make sure the all clear and everything's fine back there. So if you don't mind letting them stay a couple more days, that'd be great, because USF needs to do some work out there, and they have debris down as well, naturally, from all of those winds. As we take you to a live look now from the Pinellas Bayway, and a reminder for you this morning that the barrier islands are now open in Pinellas County. Again, this is a live picture there at the Pinellas Bayway at 54th Avenue South. Looking really good out there in a sense of dry weather. If you haven't stepped outside yet this morning, you can feel the humidity is down, the sun is out. This is a little bit of a gift for us after such a horrible night of dealing with Milton and what you were going through as it was passing by your house. So today we get a little bit of a reprieve from that, and as we saw on the 7-day just a little bit ago, certainly a break from some of that weather that we've been dealing with after all the other hurricanes, Debbie, and dealing with Helene and afterwards. So we're getting a little bit of a weather break, I guess you could say.
Yeah, our Jen Titus also giving us a look at our coast this morning in the aftermath. We lost you a little earlier, Jen. Obviously, the service down there pretty spotty on a day like today, right after this tremendous storm. But when we last talked to you, you were showing us the damage both from Helene and Milton, and I imagine that it's pretty tough to determine what was what. It was a 1-2 punch for them.
It really was, Caitlin, and we've just been driving down Bradenton Beach here, and I have to ask our escort, he came down from St. Johns County. I'm like, okay, so is that Milton or is that Helene? He's like, that's Helene. This is Milton, guys. You can see the wind damage that took place out here on Bradenton Beach, out here on the island. So much devastation. Look inside that house. It literally looks like it went through a blender. That's how much damage is inside there. And if you go over here, just down the way, you can still see so many of these homes already without windows and doors. And now that was not Milton. That was Helene. So that just shows you kind of the reality of what the island is dealing with all the devastation that they've had in just the past couple of weeks. And I want to say that everybody out here right now, I mean, they are working. I see National Guard out there. I've seen people from all over the state of Florida. I just talked to one guy who came down with a state task force that helps communities rebuild, and they thought they were only going to be here for 14 days after Helene. And now, of course, Milton is in the picture, so their stay has been extended. But emergency crews are out here. They are working to get this island back up and running, because right now it is closed, guys, to residents. Unfortunately, I know on the other side of the bridge on Cortez, there are actually residents lined up right now waiting to get back on the island. But when I get back over there, I'm going to let them know that the chief of police has told me that the island will not be open for another day or so, because there is so many down power lines out here that it is unsafe, that they need to get those removed. They need to get the trees removed. They need to get the debris removed. Debris was not something they had from Helene. Helene was storm surge. Then they had all of that debris that came out of Helene from outside of people's homes. The debris just was not picked up, not all of it. So now that was all spread from the wind that they saw out here. So they're getting that picked up, and they're hoping that this island will be open to residents in the next day or so. And this community is going to rebuild. This community is resilient, guys. We've been saying it all morning. They will rebuild. They will be back, because that is what this community does.
Florida strong, we keep saying. Those strong winds behind you, though, that's still some rough surf, Jen. But it kind of a sad bittersweet reminder of just how beautiful our beaches are there,
Yep.
too. So picturesque behind you, but obviously so devastated after these storms. I'm seeing the workers around, and I think the home that's right there on the corner, right in front of you there, it looks to be like maybe just a total loss at this point. It's pushed off its foundation.
Oh, 100%. And unfortunately, I think many of the homes out here are at a total loss. I think the numbers we were saying from Helene on Bradenton Beach was 95% of devastation. And if you literally look over here, guys, those are the lifeguard towers that are topped over. My sister was actually a lifeguard in one of those towers, and just to see it toppled over and just to see the devastation and the destruction out here, it's kind of unimaginable until you see it firsthand. And then you see something like this from another hurricane literally 2 weeks later that has just completely destroyed this home now. But again, the chief telling us that after Helene, they had already gotten the 7-Eleven back open out here. Gas was already back on the island. They were already in that rebuilding process. So they know how to rebuild. They're going to rebuild. It's going to take some time, but he tells me this island will be back open.
Hey, you know, Jen, you grew up in Bradenton, so I'm sure you have some childhood memories there at that beach, and it's going to be tough to see.
Oh yeah, my sister, longtime surf shop employee. If anybody's local, they've been to the surf shop down here. So many locals here in Bradenton that this was our beach. And I know people from Tampa, they come down here, Anna Maria Island, Bradenton Beach. This is the area that we've all loved. Maybe it's not home for us, but it has a special place in our hearts because we visited it, we vacationed here, and the chief says that they are resilient. I love that word. I love that word right now because these communities, they have to be resilient. All of Tampa Bay has to be resilient right now as this rebuilding process begins.
All right,
Absolutely.
Jen, before we let you go, I just wanted to just mention there too, where do they even begin with this? Because you've got the crews out there, I know, removing the debris, pushing the sand out of the roadway, but with so much devastation to the homes there, so many total losses, what are they even doing? When you're talking to the crews there, where do you start?
Yeah, right now they're starting with just removing the sand out of the roadway so that it can be drivable, that residents can get their cars, they can get their vehicles out here, and then they can start the rebuilding process of their homes. Is it demolition? Is it just some drywall? The 4 to 5 feet of water? Do they have to do a full tear down? Those are going to be questions that people unfortunately are going to have to answer. They will answer them. These businesses will answer those questions, guys. And the chief is certain that this place, these islands that we've all grown to love so much, will be back better than ever.
All right, Jen Titus reporting live for us in Bradenton Beach. Jen, I know you want to kind of move around a little bit safely and kind of get another vantage point. And we're going to check back with you again shortly. Thank you so much.
Jameson,
yeah,
Jameson, one second. I do want to say some good news out of all of this is the chief says there is no fatalities being reported. There is no injuries being reported, that everybody heeded the warnings. He says Helene was kind of iffy. People stayed. People did not stay for Milton, and that is something he is very happy to see. So he's hoping people just wait off one more day until they can clear everything out and they can get the residents back here and the businesses owners back here so that, of course, they can start that rebuilding process.
That is definitely something to
great news.
celebrate. Really good news. And the biggest cheerleader for Bradenton right there,
Yeah,
Jen Titus.
we're going to have to get Jen Titus to be the hype man for all the Bay Area right now, because we're going to need it as we're cleaning up and trying to get everything rebuilt again. Definitely. Jen, thank you so much. You know, it's interesting because you see all those homes and they're going to have some tough decisions to make. Are they going to try to rebuild? Because if there's more than half of a loss, you're going to have to rebuild. That's not just a repair. And they're going to have to make some decisions. Are they going to sell beachfront property, or are they going to try to rebuild there again? A lot of folks going through things that they probably thought they were never going to have to go through, and decisions they never thought they would have to make in their lives.
I think the fear is there right now too. It's very difficult because it's still so fresh right now, and you know, we're all in this together. We're all dealing with this from varying degrees, but we all just weathered this storm together as a community. And I think some people, we've heard from them, we've interviewed them, who've said, "I've lived here for decades. I grew up here my whole life, and I'm ready to get the heck out." And two major storms back to back will do that to you. But you know, give it some time, right? And we will rebuild.
We'll have short memories, and we'll have a good hopefully a good holiday season and start a new year and start fresh.
Start fresh.
Yeah, and then
out of hurricane season. We can kiss this one goodbye soon, not soon enough.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, let's take a look at not too far from where Jen was in Bradenton. A lot of trees and poles down in that area, and you can see one of the biggest problems is these trees either fell on homes, cars, and power lines as well, blocking roads, blocking or knocking out power. And this is going to be the toughest part for power crews. If a tree took down a power line or power poles are down, that's going to be a much longer restore than perhaps you live in a neighborhood where this isn't the issue. It's just trying to get a substation turned back on because some transformers blew. But this is a great site.
I was just going to say some good news here, some silver linings after the storm. We've got the Howard Franklin Bridge open on both sides right now. Traffic moving smoothly there, although I see a little debris on the roadways there. So take it easy as you cross and take it easy on the roadways across the whole area, because as we talk about those trees, that's really widespread across the Tampa Bay area with winds over 100 miles per hour at some points, record speeds out there. This really whipped us around, whipped those trees down, and they had been so inundated with water from Helene previously that a lot of trees were uprooted and very difficult, the cleanup effort. That's why, getting the power back on even harder today for power crews.
Absolutely. And, they're out there, they're trying to do all the damage assessments and get everything turned back on. And at this point, like we said, they got some pretty good weather to do that, but they've got a lot of work ahead of them. Let's go to meteorologist Amanda Pappas now with the latest on our weather outside. Amanda?
Outside right now, things are starting to look up, which is great, just in time for this recovery effort to kick off. So we do know, though, that it is going to be a long one. So I really want to show you this before and after. So yesterday, this is from our loyal viewer right here, Lou. We can see those two cranes. There's so much construction going on all across our Bay Area. And that crane that we showed you on the ground completely collapsed off. And you see that it's broken off right here, guys. This is really just devastating to see. But on the bright side, we do know that those tornadoes finally ended, and we didn't see too many fatalities or any injuries. Realistically, we saw one out of all those tornadoes, so that's some good news. However, what we want to talk about is recapping this system and also talking about where we're going from here. So we had the landfall, Siesta Key, Cat 3 at 8:30 last night, and those winds were so powerful, gusting to 101 miles per hour over towards St. Pete, 93 miles per hour over towards Tampa. But now we see that we are looking good. We are in Lakewood Ranch with those breezes going right there. It is going to remain pretty breezy. A lot of our obs are still out because of those sensors being out, because of how powerful a lot of those winds were. And our own area, 10 Tampa Bay, our station that we love so much, we had to evacuate it because, of course, we were in an evacuation zone. So we do as we say over here, and we do see that everything is looking good there. We just have to pick up some debris, and Lakewood Ranch looking a lot better as well. Now, a little more overcast than we'd like to see, but hey, that'll help keep you a little cooler, especially over the next 12 hours. We only get into the 80s, dropping off into the 70s and clearing those skies. Even some upper 60s tonight are possible, which is good. So that way we can cool off, and that'll just only help in the recovery effort that is going to be a long one up ahead. In addition to the surge and all the wind destruction, we had record amounts of rainfall. Look at this. Radar estimated up to almost 20 inches in some areas, and radar now finally quiet, completely dry. The state is not seeing any sort of impacts finally from Milton currently, other than everything post-storm, of course. And those winds are beginning to die down as well. They're coming in from the north, and that's going to actually help to keep our temperatures much cooler too, and also usher in much more of this drier air, which is great news for us. Now we see on Future Track that a lot of the cloud cover is going to move out as the system continues to barrel off into the Atlantic. It weakens as it does so, and we are left behind with a nice mix of sunshine and a few clouds heading into your finally Friday. It has been a very long week. We've all been very anxious, and we have been stressed. So thankfully for the cleanup and recovery effort, we do know that it'll be really nice outside to be able to get that done and really start it this weekend and help people where they need that help. We should only see a couple of showers for your Friday. Other than that, your 7-day forecast really looking great right now. We continue to see a lot of sunshine in the short term. Now, don't do anything with that clickbait. I know about the tropics, things that people are talking about out there. For right now, we are calm, we're quiet, and we're seeing great conditions to help this ongoing recovery effort. We are a part of your community. We love Tampa Bay, and we are going to get through this, and I know our community is resilient. Guys?